time to look at what the papers are saying, like we promised, on their front pages. And we start with our sister publication, the State newspaper, as is routine. It says here that again, CBN raises MPR to 26.25% to subdue inflation. Some writers there, Cardoso, monetary tightening yielding desired outcomes, banking system safe, sound despite headwinds. NECA, Teriba, CPP is aggressive monetary tightening, squeezing businesses, hurting borrowers. All right. Ganduje, although not election period yet, we are working to secure Tinubu's re-election. Edgy's policies focused on what works best for Nigeria. Shetima's aide discloses, and just above that, prosecutor says he was told ICC was established for African Russian leaders. And above the this day logo, minimum wage talks. Labour rejects NECA Edgy's offer of 54,000 naira. And on the top mast, UK government, Nigeria's capital market needs $10 billion financing yearly to meet SDGs by 2030. Let's look at the Punch. 26.25% interest rate. Private sector fears loan repayment crisis. Previous interest rate hikes killing businesses. 1.5 trillion bad loans may rise. Operators. Medical tourism spending falls by $5.24 million. That's from CBN. And didn't start governing fully until this February. The governor of Rivers State, Fubara. Minimum wage meeting adjourned as Labour rejects fresh 54,000 offer. Reps panel to probe faulty presidential aircraft. Naira slide pushes Dangote diesel to 1,100 litre, and Tinubu okays $750 million for rural electrification. Let's look at the sports. Punch Sports Extra. Road to final. Atalanta and Leverkusen fight to finish. Lookman battles compatriots. Boniface. Teller as Atlanta Leverkusen clash in Europe final. Vinicius Jr. back to win Ballon d'Or. And Southgate axes Rashford from England team. Cruz to retire after tourney. Ronaldo 39 named in Portugal Euro squad. While Poch left Chelsea, and they are touting Tuchel to come back a second time. Let's look at the Vanguard. Inflation battle. CBN raises interest rates to 26.25%. OPS protest. Minimum wage. Labour AG meeting ends in deadlock. All right, and that's that. Petrol marketers fret as depot price rises to 710 per litre in Lagos. Daily Trust. It says bandits kill 50 burn houses in Plateau. Wase Kanam axis no longer peaceful. We've killed 7 of the attackers. This is coming from the police. Hardship. Social chaos looms. ACF warns. All right. Let's look at now let's look at a South African newspaper, Daily Citizens. It says polls, Daily Citizens of South Africa. It says polls, market hangs back. Just a little of what that is talking about. Unsure of next week's election results. Investors put their money on ice, opting to wait and see, experts say. A major concern is that the wrong party, the question is which is the wrong party, can rise to power. And coalitions come with the breadwinds of instability. It is clear global giants have lost their appetite for investing in assets. This is just from one CEO, not a general statement, as it were. And then just by the side there, an independent judiciary needed. Deputy Chief Justice Maya must fill Zondo's shoes following his retirement. The I-Paper, we'll go international now. Well, we've been in international. The I-Paper, Brit charged with spying for China, found dead in Maidenhead Park. The Mirror. Turbulence, tragedy, terror in the sky. This is a story of a pensioner who was going on a holiday with his wife. He dies, age 73. British pensioner on dream holiday dies and dozens hurt as plane is hit. That's a terrible tragedy there. Make fewer arrests. This is the Times. Make fewer arrests to help jails, police told. Number 10, neglecting PM's more popular colleagues, laments minister. Let's look at one more international paper, then we'll bring in our newspaper analyst. Okay, Daily Mail has the same story. Nightmare at 37,000 feet. British grandfather dead in turbulence terror. Plane plunges 6,000 feet after hitting air pocket. 7 more critically injured. What a sad story. All right, now it's time to bring in Dr. Constance Ikoku, analyst, Arise analyst, social commentator, and journalist. Good morning. Glad to have you join me this morning.
Yes.
Okay. Front of this day, it says again, CBN raises MPR to 6.25% to subdue inflation. The OPS, organized private sector, are crying. They are saying that Eneka, Tariba, CPPA say aggressive monetary tightening squeezes businesses and hurting borrowers. And there you see Ganduje, the chairman of APC, although not election period yet, were working to secure Tinubu's re-election. And on the top mast, UK government, Nigeria's capital market needs $10 billion financing yearly to meet SDGs by 2030.
So which one do we start with? So let's talk about the CBN. It's really been a roller coaster ride for Governor Cardoso at the CBN. For some months now, he's been trying to get a hang of the economy. He's been raising interest rates continually, and he insists that this is necessary in order to stabilize the currency and in order also to reduce inflation. He's confident that this will work, although we haven't seen good outcomes. Yes, he's saying that we should be patient. In a couple of months, we will see a better outcome. His critics, though, do not agree with him. Some people are not convinced at all. Exactly, organized private sector. They say this is a lazy approach. It's a quick fix, that has a huge cost for the economy and for the private sector. It squeezes them out, and it increases the rate of borrowing. And it's not good at all, So the question then many people ask is, does Governor Cardoso know what he's doing, or is this a trial and error government? So everyone will be waiting and watching to see, even a couple of months, things stabilize. And I think at the end of the day, he has to show that he knows what he's doing. If not, his credibility really is on the line.
Then the Ganduje story.
Yeah, so talking about Ganduje, he's the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, which is the ruling party today. He was at an event where they were discussing the scorecard, how the government has done in 1 year. And he seems to believe that the government has done well so far. And let's not forget that Alhaji Ganduje himself has a case to answer in Kano State. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission of Kano State, has heavy allegations against him involving himself, his wife, and his son. But he doesn't seem to care. He's, all around the place making more of political talk without substance. And so he's implying at this event that the president will run for a second term, and the party, the APC, will do everything possible to make sure that he gets another term. And he's also saying that they want to gain more governors in the next round of elections, which is in 2027. And I think a lot of people may not be surprised by this kind of talk. It's common in political circles. However, this is a difficult time for the country. You want to see an APC that is more invested in making sure that there is a turnaround in the economy and in the current state of things, so that people can have a better life. So I don't think that Ganduje at this point with this kind of comments is doing any favor, to his party, the APC.
The Vanguard has a story of CBN, which we've tackled, but then the minimum wage issue, Labour FG meeting ends in deadlock. The government has shifted ground by 6,000 to 54. Labour is 6th. That's a far cry from 615,000. So there's a meeting, I think, again for today.
Yes, there was going to be a deadlock. The parties involved in this negotiation have different intentions, and they have different goals and objectives. The federal government is cognizant of the fact that it has a lean purse to shoulder higher wages, especially when you've not done a total revamp of the country. A shakedown, you need a shakedown to be able to get the kind of money that you need. If things continue the way they are going, it's difficult to show that higher wages. At the same time, Labour is saying that, there have been stagnant wages over a long period of time amidst ballooning cost of living and inflation. So they do have a point, And then during the negotiations, the government says, they are offering 54,000 naira. For Labour, this is a slap on the face. Why? Because the least federal paid worker receives 77,000 naira. So they are asking, is this a wage reduction we're discussing, or is this a wage increase? So they're saying, no, we're not having this. And the other leg of the story is that the governors were supposed to be in this meeting, at least 6 governors representing 6 geopolitical zones. None of them were around. They did send representatives, but those representatives could not make any offer because they said they were not given a mandate. So Labour is furious. They can't make any decision
for the governors.
They can't. The governors have to be there. So it
just looks like the state governors are taking it not serious.
I know. You see, most times we heap blames on the federal government, but the states also receive substantial revenue on our behalf, so they should be held accountable as well. So Labour is insisting on a deadline of May 31 to round up negotiations. So we are going to be seeing more meetings going forward.
Yeah. Let's look at Daily Trust. Daily Trust. Hardship, well, it has a story on bandits killing 50 burned houses in Plateau. Then Kano Assembly to amend law candidates to dethrone Sanusi. And then, of course, the minimum wage. But there's a story here of hardship. I mean, that's something you can't deny. Is here with us, and people are experiencing it. Social chaos looms. Arewa Consultative Forum is warning.
Yes, so the Arewa Consultative Forum is the mouthpiece of the North, so to speak. They're very vocal and upfront. They're very vocal and upfront concerning issues, especially as it relates to the northern part of the country. And so they are saying everything that we know already. They're talking about unemployment, the banditry, insurgency, the high cost of living, and all that is going on. And they're saying that the government needs to do more, and especially in the northern part of the country, that things are very difficult, that it might lead to social unrest. I think any Nigerian that is living in this country today will be worried, or would have expressed concern, seeing what is going on. At the same time, the ACF has said that we should pray, or the country should rally around and pray for the government, for the intervention of God. Well, that is where we might have a problem, because what we need to do in Nigeria most times is just do the right thing. Yesterday we were talking about Kano State government spending more than 2 billion naira. Yes, intervention of God, but when you're
doing what you're supposed to do.
Exactly. You need to take the right step. There are things that are very easy and very simple.
I mean, principles.
Exactly. It will turn around things. We're talking about Kano State spending over 2 billion naira, 68 million naira per vehicle for lawmakers in the country at this time. So
when Labour is crying for increased wage, and how that will help stem insecurity and, of course, food.
That's right. So God will not do for you what you can do for yourself.
He won't do for you what you can do for you. Definitely, you're very absolutely correct there. Let's take these stories and then we'll let you go. In the Citizen of South Africa, polls, market hangs back. Investors are. What I'm thinking about there is, if the right government comes to power, the question is, who is saying what would be the right party? I mean, because to one, the party that is in power is right. To another, the party that is not in power is. So, I mean, what would be the right party? That's one, and they're crying for independence of the judiciary. But there's this story on the Mirror, very sad story indeed. Terror, turbulence, tragedy, terror in the sky. A pensioner. It's so touching. Who was just going on a holiday with his wife. And there's this turbulence in the air. Yes. And the plane dives 6,000 feet, and so that was it.
Yeah, to the party story, the party that is, takes actions or policies in the interest of the people. That's the most important thing. Well, to the story on the airlines, so it was Singapore Airlines, and if you have been following aviation stories, we have been hearing warnings about more turbulence in the skies. And yesterday we saw, you know, a perfect example of a severe case of turbulence.
Particularly because of climate change.
Yes, it's a severe case of turbulence. And like you said, the plane plunged 6,000 feet in the sky. That is so scary. You know, so people were being hit, you know, yanked left, right, and center. They hit the roof of the plane. Eventually, the plane managed to land, thanks to the pilots and the crew that managed to land. It didn't crash. And one person, you know, died, several people injured, some still in the hospital. You know, it's a very unfortunate case of turbulence, and airlines, I think, are making plans, you know, to be aware that this is going to be happening quite often. So we have to.
And they're saying it can't be predicted.
Exactly, it cannot be predicted.
Nature.
It can happen. This is, you know, climate change, part of the problems, and so we will have to find a way to go around, to handle it, to manage it properly when it occurs, because it comes suddenly. So a tragic case, but at least there wasn't a plane crash.
Thank you, Constance. We'll leave it there. That's the press review. For more, follow us on X at Arise TV.